Hello and welcome back to another flute tip of the week. Again, for those of you who follow my Instagram, you'll know that I've still been having some problems with my neck and shoulder. I'm getting some tests done this week, so hopefully it'll be all good news, so send happy vibes. One thing I've been doing a lot more this week is doing quite a bit of piano practice, which doesn't really hurt because my shoulders can stay down, I don't really need to move my arm very much, and I'm able to keep my neck at a straight angle. But one thing that got me really thinking about was how much of an effect being able to see your hands has on just being able to be a lot more even with how you're playing. And I found that even though I've not been able to do a lot of regular flute practice, my fingers feel a lot more comfortable doing awkward intervals than they did before. I ended up turning this idea into an exercise and applying it to a few of my students, and it ended up having some really great results. And so I thought that we would spend today looking at that exercise. So let's get ready to look at flute a little bit more pianistically. Practice tricky intervals by playing them on the edge of a table in front of you. In one of my first videos, I talked about how good it can be to do some ghost flute playing, where basically you just take a pencil or even just get comfortable using your thumbs as kind of the base of the flute, and without actually having your flute there, playing through your repertoire. But when we do that, we don't normally watch our fingers, and it isn't necessarily the best representation of having things perfectly even. However, when you put your fingers on the edge of a table, not only is it a great brain exercise because obviously you're going to be looking at your left hand backwards, because instead of like this, you've got it like this. But it also allows you to both listen for the impact of your fingers against the table to make sure that they're at the same time, and watch your fingers for height, evenness, and overall tension that you might have either through your knuckles or your wrist. And it gives you really good visual cues, which we don't normally get to have on the flute. One good way to get used to this idea is by practicing arpeggios on the table. So you're going to put your thumbs along the edge of the table like this, and you will be moving your left thumb whenever you have, say, a C or some note in the high register, which doesn't require your thumb. And one thing to remember is to keep this pinky up as well. So let's say we want to do an E flat major arpeggio. So we'll be starting with low E flat like this. So E flat, G, B flat, E flat, G, B flat, then high E flat, back to B flat, G, E flat, B flat, G, E flat. The reason why this is really helpful is because it allows you to not only hear the timing of your fingers, so, and also you're able to get a really good visual cue of the different distances your fingers might have against the table and therefore against the flute. And one of the most important things is to make sure everything stays really low whenever you're not using it. And this will help you with a visual cue to get used to this. So let's say you're having difficulty in particular with the B flat to E flat transition. You're gonna have to practice keeping your right pinky down and then just swapping other things over. You only want to hear one impact against the table. So everything needs to be instantaneous, close to the table, and moving exactly at the same time as if just one mechanism is controlling these other digits. So let's listen again. Okay, that's better. And I want you guys to try this for a few days, just to really see if it makes a difference for you. The reason why I think it's good to start looking into different practice methods like this is because flute is basically one of the only instruments where you can't actually see what you're doing while you're playing. So while it's great that we have the oral and physical memory of what we're doing, it would be really helpful if once in a while we do some very specific and direct practice where we have access to a visual cue. And there is a difference between actually seeing your body doing this action and just seeing a note that reminds you to do that. The note is great because it is a very quick reminder for what you need to do, but if you're consistently having difficulty with a specific interval, then this kind of work can really help. I would definitely recommend this to other people who maybe are having difficulties with their arms or any other kind of pain as a result of practice or just a general injury, because this is a way to at least feel like you're getting in control of something which, when you're normally away from the flute for a while, can be easy to lose track of. Normally, the first thing that goes when you're not able to play for a while is your dexterity. And so this is an exercise that you can do without causing any pain, and that will actually help you when you come back to playing the flute again. So again, that tip was practice tricky intervals by playing them on the edge of a table in front of you. I hope you find this week's tip helpful. We'll see you all next week. Flute happy, table happy, and send me good vibes. At least the one plus of not really being able to play flute right now is that playing piano doesn't hurt all that much, so I'm actually able to practice on this and at least do something productive musically. And I've been getting a lot of composing done. At least I can do fun stuff like